All right, guys and girls, real quick this morning. Something I did not put on that last video, State of the League address. I think it's important to watch the videos from the commish. I take the time to try to explain all misunderstandings, and it's good to try to concentrate on that. I know that the season is not for sure going to happen still, and that it's still early. Some of you are probably taking it lightly, but as I said in the other video, we all need to function as if we are going to play, because if we end up playing and you haven't done your homework in the past because you thought we weren't going to play, then you're going to end up having a less pleasant season and a losing season more likely than a winning season. Okay, here it is. Look, the only way there's going to be parity in a keeper league like this, large league, 16 teams versus your 8, 10, and 12 teams. The only way that parity is going to happen is when each team tries to balance all the players available and within their team. It's the only way it's going to happen. So, if you are a team that has more than 3 players with an average draft position, say above 35 or below 35, 1 to 35, if you have 4 players or even 5, that's great. The next guy might have 0 to 1 player. The thing is when the draft opens up in this keeper league, the guy that has the 0 or 1 keeper is going to still end up not having more than 1 keeper, because when the draft opens up, the major keepers are all going to be kept. So, if you are a team that does not have more than 1 keeper, you have several choices, and there are strategies and factors that will help make your decision. And there is one team out there that I have spoke to, and he's developed a strategy. It might be different than what I'm saying here, but it's going to work for him, but it wouldn't work for anyone else. That's the way that works. So, if you have 1 or less keepers, you need to try to go out there and give up one of your draft picks to pick up a worthy keeper player. It's the only way you're going to get the good keepers. Otherwise, you're going to have to pick from a couple of rookies that you might be able to get. Draft pick trading, you can't trade your first, second, and third round. They're non-negotiable. You either keep 3 and pick in the 4th round, you keep 2, you pick in the 3rd round, you keep 1, you pick in the 2nd round, you keep none, you pick in the 1st round. But you cannot negotiate rounds 1, 2, and 3. You can only negotiate 4. Now, finally, the team that gives up their 4th round pick and the team that takes that 4th round pick and gives up a worthy top 3-round player, you'd think, well, the guy that gave up the top 3-round player for the 4th-round pick is getting a bad deal. No, he's not, because if he has more than 3 keepers, he can't keep but 3. So that 4th player that's a worthy keeper is going to drop back into the free agency pool on draft night. Why would he waste that player and just let him drop back in the pool if he can negotiate him? Conversely, the team that has no keepers or very few keepers, that needs to attain keepers so that he can start out on the right foot, he's kind of going to get a deal, because he's going to get a top 3-round type worthy player for a 4th round pick, sure. But the team that gets the 4th round pick and gives up the player is going to have 2 4th round picks. So both teams win. It's a win-win situation for both teams. All right, guys. I hope that explains a little bit. You cannot trade your 1st, 2nd, and 3rd round. When you start negotiating, it's only the 4th round. And the 4th round and the 5th round, and maybe even the 6th round, are negotiable positions, draft positions, for a player that's kind of teetering on the top 3-round type worthy player. And then quarterbacks are unique in our league. If you do not have a top 10 quarterback, or if you do not have a quarterback that's expected to start all year and do well or reasonably well all year, somebody that's hard to knock off their pedestal as a quarterback because they're kind of a franchise quarterback. That's the quarterback you want on your team if you can get them. You're not going to get them when the season opens up. They're going to be kept. So that might not matter to you. Some people might say, well, gosh, I got 2 great running backs and a great wide receiver. I'm just going to get a quarterback in the 4th or 5th or 6th or 7th round. That's fine. You can do that and play quarterback in and out all year long because you've got a solid keeper base. And you can maybe afford to do that. On the other hand, the quarterback does score way more points than anybody else. And so, the quarterback is valuable. All right, guys, thanks. I hope this helps somebody. Don't sit on your hands. Don't be afraid to call the commish or give me your phone number, exchange phone numbers. I spoke to 5 people, and all of them were like, oh, I didn't know that. And they all are better off now, have a much better understanding of how this all works, having spoke to the commissioner. I don't want you to get it secondhand and then be misled. Even some of the guys that have spoke to me and understand might not be able to explain as well as I can because I am the creator of all this. So, all right, everybody have a great week. I'm here for you. I'll get back with you as soon as I can. You just PM me. Try to stay out of the major chat window when you're trying to talk about what you're going to do and what you're not going to do and who you're going to keep and not keep. Your keeper hand should be a poker hand. And everyone should not know that. That's why we have the software to negotiate and make offers within the system. And the chat window should be a little more quiet. You can say, I sent you an offer, like I did with the 4 teams I sent an offer. But discussing the offer, the terms of the offer, really should be minimized in the chat window. All right, guys, thanks.